Hi there, Piper. All right, I'm going to go ahead and give you the coaching role. And then once I do that, which is now, go ahead and rejoin the channel and you'll be able to talk. Just let me know if you can hear me. I don't think I can hear you.
Okay.
Oh, okay, I can hear you now.
Okay, cool.
Yo, hey.
Settings.
How's it going? Okay.
Thanks.
Cool, cool. What time is it for you right now?
It's about 11 a.m.
Okay, all right. Hopefully you got some good rest. Um, let's start off things off with an op.gg review. This is what I like doing for all of my coaching sessions. Take a look at some of your games in recent history, and then we'll get into the nitty gritty. So based on our last conversation we had privately, you said that you had been coached before. It was live gameplay. So you felt like you were able to operate, being in a environment where you're like being backseated by a coach essentially, being instructed. Yeah, because that's always my biggest concern when it comes to like live coaching certain individuals. Well, aside from you, like people who haven't been coached before, because the coaching debuff can hit people sometimes really hard, and then maybe they feel a little disappointed when they can't perform their best in front of the person who's trying to like identify what to work on. So, as long as you're comfortable with being in that environment, I don't mind live coaching you.
Yeah, I'm comfortable.
If we got 2 hours, we got 2 hours tonight, so honestly we have time to even go into a replay after a live game if we want to go ahead and dissect things a little bit better. But we'll see what happens. All right, let's take a look at your profile first, and let's talk about your ranked climb. Now, all right, I got your profile up right now. Do you want to go ahead and just give me like a quick summary as to how things have been for you lately in solo queue? What's been going on?
Yeah, it's alright. I've been having trouble carrying and stuff. And,
okay.
Yeah, some games have been good with Garen.
All right. Yeah, I'm filtering by ranked. I'm taking a peek and seeing how you've been progressing here. All right, so it looks like you're at a 20 game spread. It's been a little rough for you lately.
Yeah.
Okay, so you tried Moby Boots in a few of your games. That's pretty exciting. Okay.
Yeah, I do like the mobility boots build here.
Yeah, it can be really, really good. Granted, of course, when you're in lanes that you can actually roam, it feels really, really great. But you got to be really careful too. You got to know what you're doing with the boots too. You got to choose where to be able to help and stuff like that. That's really, really cool that you're trying. It's a really, really great exercise type of item, so to speak, to be able to practice your macro, practice your roaming. Let's see. Yeah, you're running all sorts of different playstyles with Garen specifically, and I do see you do mix in a few champions here and there, but it's mainly Garen, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Looks like you're building up quite the champion pool.
Yeah, and I pretty much followed the matchup spreadsheet though.
Okay. That's cool. I'm glad it's a helpful resource. Yeah, we'll be having December edition out in just a few days now. We're just going to have some sizable updates because it's preseason. Okay, cool. And there's a game that you went 17-2-6 versus, it looks like it was a Irelia, possibly?
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
cool. That's cool. Let's go. Okay, so like, tell me, like in your own words, like, okay, so you say you've been having issues carrying. What do you think is underneath that? And if you don't know, that's okay. But I want to hear in your outlook what might be some things that might be affecting your games.
I think it's about me crushing my lane better than what I have been.
Okay.
Sometimes I'm able to pull out good games like that 17 for 2 game, but
right. Like Garen's a snowball champion. You're still playing in an MMR where people are going to litter their laning phases with mistakes. Like you can have somebody in your lane on average making a mistake every 10 seconds. And that's kind of crazy. And identifying those windows to be able to punish your opponent is like, it really comes down to your knowledge as a player. So I think that's something we're gonna have to work on a little bit. And yes, I think like in order to really bump up the swim rate, we're gonna be looking to snowball a little bit more in your games because Garen is a snowball champion in essence. If you get that early lead, that gold advantage that you have over your opponent through itemization, champion levels really makes a difference. Like having Garen level 11 compared to your lane opponent level 10 is such a big advantage. It's so crippling. you basically take total control of the lane. Same thing applies to Garen level 6 versus a champion being level 5, etc., etc. Um, okay. And I see you mainly are housing yourself. Well, actually, it's a little bit of a split. Some games you're going mid lane, some games you're going top lane.
Yeah,
Um,
I've been trying both of them out to
okay.
figure out which one's better for me.
Okay. I'd say it's definitely both possible to climb in either lane. Do you think you understand the differences between both lanes a little bit?
Yeah, mid lane I'm roaming a lot better. I'm roaming a lot more.
Yeah.
Sorry.
There are. I do want to
So,
point out there are some mid lane games though that you may notice that you might be actually more encouraged to go ahead and stay in lane and to be able to pressure your opponent. Because I want to really talk about that because when I talk to my coaching clients a lot and they say, hey, I say to them, hey, what is the big difference between mid and top? And people always say, hey, you're roaming more wrist, and that can be true. Um, what do you think you know any examples off the top of your head in your situation, like a matchup, for example, where you don't think you want to roam as much, you want to basically stay in lane and try to figure things out?
well, against like something like a Yasuo,
Okay, okay, so yeah,
because their roam's not as good.
yeah. There are champions who won't roam as good. So like, and there are champions who are going to perma push you in, right? So like, if we think of a champion like Yasuo, he can push lanes in pretty quickly, and he's not really that much of a roam champion unless his other laners have inherent knockups to be able to set up his ultimate. He's not really looking to roam too much. He's looking to push him and maybe help his jungler immediately. There's also champions that are just going to push you in over and over and over and over, like Victor, who can make roaming very very difficult. But there's also there's another case of champions that you probably want to be able to push in and to take tower plates, and that's assassins. The advantage that assassins have over you is that they can mobilize a lot better. Most assassins that operate in mid lane have abilities to go over walls, so trying to counter roam these champions is really difficult to do it. And the thing is, Predator Garen's not really that viable anymore, so it's really really hard to match these players' roams. So like as a result, what I've been doing to really punish certain assassins is take demolish. Demolish has been
Oh,
a
okay.
crucially big rune for me to impact and flip the enemy teams over for in terms of like their house and like having really really good gold advantage early. Um, and do you know why that is? Like if we talk about like demolish as a rune, do you use the rune at all?
Yeah, I do. So
Okay, cool,
it's
cool.
easier to take down tower plates.
Yeah, that's good to see. Yeah, I think demolish is definitely a rune I'd like to see you use as much as possible.
Okay.
Granted, in lanes where it's more appropriate. If you're playing versus like a auction, you're probably never touching this tower, right? Second wind's going to be your go-to. But when you're playing versus champions who are more passive, or you don't need second wind, like, or you don't need unflinching, for example, you can take demolish and really really capitalize because the sooner you get your mythic, the sooner you start becoming that raid boss's Garen. Getting your mythic like around 14 minutes, sure, that's great and all, but getting it 8 to 10 minutes in the game is a big difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, depending on what matchup we get you, of course, when we actually get into game, we might be able to utilize that demolish strategy. But yeah, I think if we're trying to work on you carrying more games, we need to find ways to help you become a bigger threat. So if you're a bigger threat and you know how to preserve that bounty, preserve that advantage, you should be able to impact more games, and we'll see you climb into the likes of platinum. Um, so I want to ask you, like, as we get into season like 13 here, do you have like a goal for this season? Is there something that you have your eyes set on?
I want to try get diamond.
Okay.
It's a sin and done probably, but
No, not at all. I mean, I didn't think I could hit diamond when I hit it for the first time. It's sometimes hard to believe in yourself to achieve the diamond dream, but I can totally see it, and you can definitely pilot Garen along with the other champions they have in your champion pool to get to diamond. Um, it's all about working on your consistency a little bit, and also working on better habits to maybe have these higher impact games. Because I am seeing a few games here where I do ponder a little bit, where you get very very high KDAs, but I do see them in defeat. So it leads
yeah.
me to believe there are some things that we can identify to work on, so you don't have that happen as much, right? So let's say you're fed out of your mind, right? Are you like playing aggressive all the time? Are you like trying to find every kill opportunity you can? Um,
Yes. I know I should be tower diving my opponent a lot more if I'm really fed to keep
okay,
the advantage going.
okay.
Uh,
Do you,
yeah. Try going to the jungle and try to find the enemy jungler if they're the top side or wherever side I'm on. See if I can punish them a bit.
Okay, so I like that you're trying to like identify like what to do in your head instead of just trying to kill your lane opponent over and over. Like maybe it's going to jungle to achieve some vision. Maybe it's helping your jungler with an objective, taking herald, so to speak. Maybe it's even getting herald yourself. Yeah, proactivity is definitely going to be your envelope for impacting the game when you're really, really ahead. But the thing is, I talk to a lot of Garen players who like get very bloodlusty, and what I mean by that is they look to play aggressive 24/7. There's not a single like if you're fed out of your mind, there's not a single second you're trying not to fight. You're looking to permafight all the time, and I just want to advise you that that's not always the answer. You don't always want to play aggressive. The thing is, like, as you become fed on Garen and turn yourself into a raid boss, them taking you down becomes a win condition in itself, and that's because of the bounty system, right?
Yeah.
If you haven't died all game and you racked up 6 kills, you're very well likely on your way to a 1k gold bounty. If that lands into the enemy carry, enemy Kassadin, and enemy ADC, enemy carry jungle, Master Yi, you dying basically becomes a win condition for them. So when you're really ahead, it's tempting to go for the same build items that are, working for you, saying, oh, Mortal Winder, I that's great and all. I can build this to go ahead and counter the healer. Or I'm fed up my mind. I can build Ghostblade, I can build Hullbreaker and stuff like that. That's really good too. But when it comes to situations where you're grouping, your itemization is going to be really, really important. And sometimes it's also important to build a little defensively when you're fed out of your mind too. Building full glass cannon is not the way to do it. Now, I do see that you do round out your build with durability. But one item that I'd like to suggest to you that you might want to include more in your games is Guardian Angel. Do you have any experience with the item in particular?
Yeah, I have built it on other champions. Yeah.
Okay. I definitely want to see that a bit more on your end, because that's like it's going to enable you to make those daring plays that you were referencing earlier by having a backup plan in case you do your health bar pops, right? Because being able to protect your bounty while also increasing your offense is really, really important here. You don't want to be able to sit out of a fight saying, okay, well, I want to maybe go in, but the thing is, it's too risky to go ahead and give up this bounty, right? With Guardian Angel, you feel a little bit more of a comfort zone in being able to make certain plays that you're more so on the fence about. Of course, you can supplement that further with items such as Darius Gauge, which should be included in almost every Garen build. Darius GA is really the 2-item power carry bounty preservation combination that you should really be looking at, and I'd like to see you go ahead and include that more in your games, right? They'll go for late game stacks, so there'll be 3rd item, 4th item, 5th item, 6th item. But yeah, if you're really fed, you can go Zeal after your Stride Breaker and then go straight in the GA. That will literally work in a lot of games.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah. Other than that, I do see that you are going for turning force into a Hullbreaker, so like games where you're trying to ascertain, hey, I'm going to go ahead and split push this game. That's cool. I think that will be valuable. Like, I do see that you went like a pretty heavy split push build going versus the likes of Vigar and Markaiser, so that's cool. So I do think that you have some basic understanding, some good understanding, I should say, about when to split and when to push, so that's good to see. Yeah, I think what we really want you to improve on is something that I'm going to have to see by basically witnessing your play. Because other than a few itemization remarks, yeah, there's not much else I can really see on your profile here. I do like that you have good variety in runes and that you're trying to think critically as to what rune to take in certain situations. That's good. I would recommend to keep referencing the matchup spreadsheet. But yeah, we'll probably have to get you in the game soon, see what habits you're really, really doing in terms of your own execution to really see what we can do to push you to that next level, a platinum player and so on and so forth.
Okay.
But before we do that, do you have any questions for me in particular? I always want to give you that opportunity before we get into that.
No, I think everything's been
all right.
Good.
Cool. All right, well, we'll go ahead and wrap things up there. Let's go ahead and have you share your screen whenever you're ready, and we'll go ahead and get you into your first game, okay?
Okay.
Cool. Okay, great. I can see it too. Quality is looking really, really good. Since you're streaming from across the world right now, what I'm assuming is going to happen is you're going to be dealing with a 3-second, like probably a little bit of delay between your Discord feed and what I'm able to actually see. So,
Okay.
yeah, we're going to have to bear that in mind. There's going to be probably some quick second calls that I'm going to make that I'm going to have to try to be as quick as possible because you're going to be dealing with the delay of receiving that information.
Okay.
But we'll see what we can do.
Would if I stream on Twitch, would that be better on there?
No, I don't think that would actually fix the issue even in low latency mode. Although I haven't tried it. Although I'm led to believe that it wouldn't fix the problem the way that we want. Let me just try to get a good understanding of how quick your delay is. Okay, so when I say now, I want you to move your mouse from the right side to left side, and then I'm going to try to figure out how long that's going to be. All right, so ready, and now. Okay, so it's actually not as bad as I thought. It's just about a solid second. So that's going to be okay. I think we can deal with that. I thought, like, from you being on OCA across the world, it'd actually be much worse than that, but it looks like we're going to be okay. All right, so I wanted to ask, I always ask my clients this, what has been your ban lately for Siliccio?
Can you repeat that, please?
Yeah, sure. What champion do you normally ban when you're in Champion Select?
Oh, I ban Camille.
Okay. Have you actually been seeing Camille's in your games?
Sometimes they do. They do end up coming out if I don't ban them. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So once you start nudging into Platinum, that's when her pick rate will start going up a bit. I'm really curious though on your server particularly what her pick rate is. Because I would say that, I say to all my clients that you should always base your ban off of champion strength and then also pick rate. You got to combine and merge the two together here. Yeah, I would say maybe keep a tally to see how many Camille's you see in your games. Although I know that Camille's a very, very frustrating champion to deal with and is very, very deadly versus Garen. So I think as you start heading towards Platinum, I think it's okay to keep your ban as Camille. Although I think if you do go mid lane, I think you should switch your ban to something else.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Yeah, because you're not going to be dealing with Camille. It's going to be very rare to see a Camille middle. And I don't think you're going to see too many teams in gold that'll be like, hey, we should lane swap. Let's have both solo lane swap, right? Not at least until you hit Platinum. That's when you start having people who will start applying better concepts in Champion Select, I think. Although results may vary on that one, to be honest. Yeah, like I would go for like a meta jungler or a very strong ADC. Like Yumi's a really good ban if your team's not playing it. And you have like, let's say for example, your team has a very, very dive heavy team comp with limited range. Like you definitely want to be banning Yumi because like the only way to really approach a team fight late game is to dive into Yumi ultimate. And that's catastrophic. So yeah, just try to pay attention to your hovers and see, hey, what shape is really strong versus our team comp? And then you could go ahead and hit that as a ban.
Oh dear, we got support.
Yeah, you can ask if you could get mid or top. If not, then we'll have you dodge, and then we'll probably just talk about like other concepts while we wait at a queue. Yeah, that'll be okay.
Okay, I can get on to another.
Oh, do you have another? Do you have another account?
I
Like,
got another account. Yeah.
What's the rank of it? Because it like I would also want you to.
Silver.
Oh, it's in silver.
Two. Yeah.
There might be a difference. There might be a difference if you have it onto that account. I don't mind waiting the 5 minutes, but let's see.
More of a dog person, huh?
Okay, I'll dodge. Oh dear.
Yeah, we'll have you just wait the 5 minutes. We'll just talk about more stuff, I think, and then hopefully, if we get autofilled again, we'll help you swap accounts. Does that sound like a deal?
Yeah, sounds like a deal.
Okay, cool. So let's talk about some more stuff just before we get you into your game here. So in terms of being able to carry the game more, Garen's strength as a juggernaut, he is particularly good at killing one person on the enemy team, as you may know, right? Yep. So, like, if you were to assess yourself, how good do you think your target prioritization is in team fights?
Probably not as good as I want it to be.
Okay.
To be
Okay.
honest.
And sometimes sometimes it can be a big struggle as to who to focus, right? Because like there's a lot of different factors, right? Do you focus the person who's inherently in front of you? Do you focus the person who's chasing your ADC? Do you focus the person who's sitting in the back line, right? So like analyzing team fights and in a quick split second decision making manner is really, really tough. So like filtering through that, what will help us to make an educated decision is to always try to pay attention to what information we do have and how do we access that. We do that by hitting the tab key, because the tab key has all the answers. It has most of all the answers, is what I'm trying to say, right? Because we figure out champion level, we figure out itemization, we figure out summoner spells. We also factor with what's happening on our screen, right? We also pay attention to miscellaneous things such as what champions have used their abilities. Okay, this champion used this dash. That means they're more vulnerable to being engaged on if they're in proximity, right? So, some of the best Garen players out there try to factor in all this information as quickly as they can. You know, super compute processing their brains and being able to figure out their target focus. So you don't want to focus anybody aimlessly just because you see somebody in front of you. That's not the way to play it, right? If Nami is 0 and 5, she's not really going to be much of a threat in team fights compared to the Samira who's 7 and 0. Who might be a little bit more deeper into a fight, right? Who has a more valuable shutdown with a silence compared to just silencing Nami's abilities. So you want to think about that. You definitely want to think about that. You know, hitting your tab key often to be able to figure that out is really, really important. Not just to identify who's strong, but also another big thing that a lot of Garen players do miss out on, which is bounties, right? Being a bounty hunter is one of Garen's best strengths because you have, as we said before, the strength to go ahead and blow somebody up, one select person. You know, Garen's really, really strong at being able to do just that. But his ability to go ahead and do consistent damage to blow everybody up is a little bit more limited because, you know, his ultimate is a big part of his power budget. So you have to play accordingly, right? So, like, in your opinion, how much do you think you focus bounties?
Sometimes I do. Sometimes I say, oh, this guy's a bounty. I'm just gonna run down here and take him out, but not as much as I should.
Okay.
Now I think about it.
All right. So just so things, I just want to try to prepare you as much as possible so we hit the ground running in a pretty smooth manner. Because like I'm going to be helping you through your game, of course, but I think the pre-assessment is really, really important here. Because I want you to have a direction. I don't want you to be in a state where you're just trying to be on standby listening for every order I give you. If we prepare you mentally for the direction that you're taking for this game, until we can get the champion select, of course, we're not going to talk about runes and stuff, but just like general direction of like what you can do to look to carry, you know, because I'd like to have you put some things into practice, not just have you play a game out and then be like, oh, well, this is what we need to review. This is all the mistakes you made, you know. Things like that. I want you to put some things into practice as the game is actually being conducted. So I think we have a few of them, right? You know, hitting the tab key, looking for bounties, trying to think critically about who to focus, right? And then also making sure to dial back your aggression when moments are appropriate. You know, when you're really, really ahead on Garen, right? And you have that massive bounty over your head. Because it's not just having a massive bounty over your head too. There's also windows of vulnerability that make Garen weaker depending on what's being expended. You know what I'm talking about?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. So like more specifically, we're talking about cooldowns, right? Like his ultimate, that's a exploited window of weakness for Garen because he's not as strong in blowing somebody up. How about his W being down, right? That's definitely a defensive ability, gives him a shield. And you know, and we're talking about other factors too, like summoner spells. If Garen has his ghost flash down or his flash ignite, that means he's not getting around in fights as quickly as he should. You know, he's got that downtime. And you're slowly heading into MMR where you're going to see more people track summoner spells or try to at least indicate to teammates that summoner spells are down. So that means that you got to be really careful and mindful that communication and information is being shared around. So there might be multiple people on the enemy team that actually knows your sums are down and will punish you for that. Yeah. Oh, by the way, when you have a moment, you could go ahead and reshare your screen with me.
Really able to keep back up. 15 seconds.
Okay, cool. I had a question for you. So I did see you had a lot of proficiency with Strikebreaker, a little bit of experience with Trinity Force. Have you tried Gale Force at all this season?
No,
Okay.
I haven't really done it.
Okay.
I probably should try it out.
Yeah, it doesn't have like I'm. You mentioned you had a different account. Is that account used for practice, or what's that account used for?
If I feel tilted in this queue.
Okay. Okay. So you go ahead and put yourself into an environment where you're trying to like decompress a little bit, not stress as much. You know,
Yeah.
the game got to you a little bit. You know, it happens to everybody. Okay, that's good. That's good. I think you should continue doing that. That's really good discipline. If you're mentally acknowledging, hey, I'm tilted, I'm just gonna go to a different account. You should
Yeah.
try to have that account specifically for deliberate practice. What I mean is you're having goals to practice new things and to build new strategies on an account that has a low stakes environment. Right. So I think if you do want to add Gale Force Garen into your arsenal, because we do see a few high ranking Garen players bringing Gale Force to the table with like Conqueror to be able to like snowball with a more damage oriented Garen build. Definitely try that on your Smurf account. Get accustomed to it because it's gonna take a while. You know, you're a little bit more fragile than with Strikebreaker Garen because you're building a mythic that doesn't have any HP. So,
Yeah.
and then also the active can be a bit tricky. You know, timing the active for the right opportunity going in, escaping, all that jazz. Yeah, so I would definitely prompt you to do that whenever you have spare time, because that might be a valuable thing. I've been tinkering with the playstyle myself, and if you're looking to carry more games, you know, Strikebreaker is good and all, but there are some games where you already have a tanky team, right? There's no point in going
Yep.
tanky Garen at that point because you already have that front line. You might as well go a little bit more damage oriented, especially if you have only one other carry on your team. It feels really bad when you got like a tank support, a tank jungler, a Galio middle, and a Garen top. That means if the ADC dies, that means all your damage is basically gone, right? You're going to have like 4 tanky guys, which doesn't really accomplish that much in a team fight. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
might be something to consider there. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, cool. All right, so we covered a few things there. Any new questions that you have for me, or you feel like we're on the same page?
I'm good.
Okay, great. So you mentioned you referenced my matchup spreadsheet to be able to, you know, figure out what to maybe take into certain matchups as, you know, a helpful resource. Do you depend on any other resources to basically help you improve at the game?
Not really. If I want to look up cooldowns of champions, I would go onto another website,
Okay.
the wiki.
Oh, okay, the LoL wiki. Okay, I think that's a very, very valuable place.
Yep.
Do you ever watch any replays?
If I'm confused how I lost something, yeah.
Okay. Okay. How about of other players?
Oh, not as much. No.
Okay. Okay, so like I know you watch my stream. I'm assuming whenever you have the opportunity, you feel like it. But I think because like I can detail how a matchup was played on the matchup spreadsheet, but the thing is, even if I describe certain things, there are going to be a lot of concepts that you will miss in execution that may not connect unless you can personally observe me doing it. And you know, I play through a ton of matchups on my stream on a weekly basis. But there are going to be some more rare, elusive matchups out there. Like, for example, a lot of Garen players ask me about the Lowy matchup. Unfortunately, I can't give, like, a present, you know, like a more recent, up-to-date demonstration on how to take Lowy on Lowy, because the only Lowy players that I'll ever play against is if I'm assigned top lane and I'm playing versus dedicated OTP. I can go 200 games and not play versus Lowy. And then a lot of people who want to help, who are like struggling in bronze, silver, gold, they will do a Lowy much more because her pick rate is more abundant down there. It's Juggernaut City down in silver, gold, bronze.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons why I would recommend that, like, if you're playing versus a certain champion, that it might be valuable to observe how other Garen players play the matchup to be able to compare and contrast with your play. So I want to send you a YouTube channel that I like watching if you're not already familiar with it, that you might be able to pull up some replays and watch in your spare time. Because the cool thing about your playing League is that you can improve without playing the game as long as you dedicate time to gaining information, gaining resources to be able to help you as a player. Okay, let's go ahead and have you ban Camille. Might as well. You know, you're already on your way to platinum after this session, so we might as well prepare you for getting into them more. We'll get you the Camille van. Okay, you got Malzahar. I don't get to see that champion every day. Varus, Hecarim. So, in terms of range, you guys have pretty good range. Pretty good crowd control too, especially with the Varus Malzahar ultimate. Okay, no Garen ban, phenomenal. Okay, do you ever pay attention to bans that champion select, sir?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So, what position, what enemy number would we probably be top lane?
Enemy 4.
Okay. Absolutely. Okay, fantastic. Yeah, that's the Fury ban in P4. So it looks like you might have the option, you might have the privilege of being able to pick your top lane champion before, I mean, after them. So that means they won't be able to counter you. We just have to hope that what they're locking in blind is not going to hard counter your champion, like a blind Quinn or something.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. Okay, I see already that this is going to be a bit of a tricky one because, like, Conqueror and Legend of Tenacity has really good value versus Vex Morgana, but it doesn't have as much value versus Master Yi, a champion who doesn't care about Tenacity and can run you down pretty quickly. So, yeah, this is going to be a pretty tough choice. They have a pretty 50-50 team comp. Honestly, you could, depending on the matchup, you could probably either go Conqueror or Phase Rush here. Part of me is wanting to say Conqueror because that's another champion with a Snare. Oh, wow, yeah. Because, like, Guardian Angel's good versus Master Yi. Okay, how confident do you feel about the Mordekaiser matchup?
I'm alright. Oh, I don't think that's right, actually. I think I'm alright with the being matched up.
Let's have you lock in Garen, and let's open up your room page super quickly. Let's have you switch to Phase Rush. Yeah, go for your standard Phase Rush page. Yeah, that's good, that's good. Alright, switch the second window for me. Second window unflinching, please.
Okay,
yeah, that one. And switch that to unflinching. On the right, bottom right. There we go.
Yep.
Save, and then switch to magic resistance. Hit save. Okay, beautiful. All right, great. So ultimately, I want you to take Phase Rush here. It was a tough choice because Conqueror does great versus Vex, does great versus Karma, and it does great versus I'm sorry, it does great versus Morgana, it does great versus Caitlyn, it does great versus Vex. But since you're stationing yourself top lane, who are the top 2 champions you're most likely to deal with since you're being top?
Masi and Mordekaiser.
Right, so the reason why I recommended Phase Rush is because you're dealing with those champions, and that rune is good versus those champions. Like, Conqueror's okay versus Mordekaiser, you can play definitely aggressive versus him. But, like, if you fall behind or you go even, the rune's going to have a lot of diminished value. And then with Master Yi, well, unless you're stat checking him, Conqueror's going to be pretty bad versus CA. So I want you to take Phase Rush here. All right, cool. So we took Conqueror to Resolve. Most likely it's going to be a bone plate with maybe Revitalize for increased shield power. So we'll have to be careful about trades. But yeah, we're looking to play aggressive here. At the same time, though, we have to figure out one thing first. We got to figure out where he's pathing. Because if he's pathing up, that means we want to chill and sit back for a bit. Pushing him in early is not going to really do us any much of a favor. Especially if Hecarim's not in a position to be able to gank either. If he's pathing down, that means we're most likely not getting any help for the first, like, 3 or 4 minutes of the game. Does that make sense?
Yep, makes sense.
Okay, beautiful. Okay, you ready to do this? I'm feeling pretty hyped about this one.
Yeah. Yeah, sound good.
All right. Have you start with Dorn Shield? Yeah, Dorn Shield's going to be your go-to here. Now, you got to be really careful about the Morgana invade, so I think you should go into your top lane Tribush. You guys should 5-point. I don't think you guys should invade. I would discourage that. Yeah, invading versus Morgana, Caitlyn, I think is a really, really bad idea. They have Vex passive too. Yeah, I don't think you guys should do it. Okay, good. Since there's only 3 of them, I'm assuming they're not going to do it. Or maybe they might. Okay, hopefully they set around. Yep, alright. Good old Silicue.
Yeah.
Dang, I'm really digging the map size. Oh my goodness. That is...
Oh, sorry. Like, it's
No, no,
because I have bad eyes.
No, that's okay, that's okay. You know, if it floats the boat, you keep on rowing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to train myself to look at the map more.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I think having a bigger map will definitely help you with that. It does kind of cut your vision on the right side of the map a little bit, but that's okay. Okay, okay, great. All right, so we're gonna have you sit here. Okay, so when minions touch, I don't want you to walk up immediately. The reason why?
Yeah.
Do you know the reason why?
Could be hiding in this brush here.
Yeah, that, and also you don't want to go to lane instantly because if Mordekaiser sees that, he's gonna probably figure out that you didn't leash for Hecarim, right? We want to keep them guessing as to where Hecarim started. So you can walk up now. That's good. Yeah, go for it. All right, go ahead and focus on farm for me right now. So we don't know. Mordekaiser got to lane late too, so we don't know if he started top or bottom. So what I'm gonna say is only go for super short trades. Do not commit into his wave. So if he goes for a minion, I want you to go for the trading stance. Okay, go for an auto Q if he tries to last at a minion.
I should position back here. Oh. Oh no.
It's okay. It's okay. Got this. Try not to be near the minions that are low because he's going to have to choose between hitting you and hitting the minions.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Okay, he's got level 3. Be careful. Just focus on farm. Uh-oh. Okay, okay. Just go ahead and focus on the wave here. I'm going to shove so you can go ahead and farm under tower.
Oh.
I see what you're trying to do. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
For those minions that you don't have enough time to auto attack, try going for an instant spin. Okay, you got Hecarim here. Go for it. Go for it. You want to attack him with Ignite, I think, to be able to chase. Actually, you may not even need it. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh, what a flash. I'll get this guy.
Okay. Ooh, okay, okay. All right, beautiful. All right, so it worked out. Luckily, it worked out in your favor. Master Yi flashed, Mordekaiser flashed. Your priority is the crash out wave, so you can back, by the way. Yeah. So wait for the next wave to scrunch up together so that way you can optimize your spin to be able to crash it sooner. Yeah, just wait, just wait, just wait. Okay, all right, it's in a pretty good position. There we go. All right, beautiful. All right, once that's crashed, we'll go ahead and have you back. Okay. All right, not too bad. So let's go ahead and have you pick up a pickaxe and then get another health potion in your inventory from me, okay?
Okay.
Then we'll have you rush back to the top. All right, that's actually, you can get another potion. Yeah, might as well. Might come in handy, right?
Came back with another cloth armor.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so that means he's going to be a little bit more durable, but that's fine. We can work around that. You have 25 AD, so that means you're packing more heat right now than him. So, but the thing is, Master he knows that your flash is down. So if he wants to go ahead and try to get fed off a certain lane, it might be yours. We might expect a return visit here, so we got to be careful with the information that they have in front of you. Okay, you should probably go ahead and ward the river because I don't want to see you get flanked by Master Yi. Okay, that works too. Just have to be careful about that ward because it doesn't see Yi going into the rush. Ooh, nice dodge. Okay. Don't try to stall that. Unless he walks out of the lane, don't try to stall that. Alright, you can stall for a bit. That's okay, that's okay.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's fine, that's fine. You probably didn't have the opportunity to freeze it anyway. He had a very, very brief absence there. Nice dodge, okay. Okay, so since you're ahead, what I want you to do is try going for some short trades.
Okay. So it's
So like go for like an auto QE when he gets near the cannon. Yeah, try to fight with your cannon a little bit. Okay, that's a really good dodge. Don't let him get the cannon for free. Punish him. Good. Really good trade there. Okay, back it off. Back it off. Close, close. Okay. Not bad. All right, so be careful. He's got level 6. Don't get near.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. It's okay. It's okay. Okay. We're going to have you pop pushing. So what's really cool is that you have Ignite up in 20 seconds.
Yeah.
So when he walks close to your tower, I want you to go for another short trade. Actually, no. Hecarim's nearby. Okay, get ready to go in. Now.
Oh, it's taken out. Taking out, sorry.
I just follow where they're going. I don't think Hecarim can be killed by Mord. Oh, really, really close. Okay, you almost were able to save him. So what you should do is just crash that wave, and then we'll have you back. Ward the river rush if you could really quickly for me. Yeah, I want you to crush this wave. I don't believe we can have you stay after that. Because of Master Yi potentially being level 6. Okay, let's have you recall. So what I'd like you to do is get Iron Spike Whip. And then let's get Dagger and Longsword after that. Yeah, and then get 2 potions for me.
Yep.
Get a controller too if you could. Yeah, that's really, really good. Since your sums are down right now, I really just want to make sure you're not in a danger zone for Ye. Because him visiting your lane with Highlander is going to be a big, big issue. Okay, so your ultimate's down. His ultimate's down. What is his items right now? Okay, so he's going tank. Yeah, he's going for tank Borkaiser. That's actually really good that you're forcing him to build tank, because if he ults somebody at full HP, he may not be able to kill them earlier. So this is really, really doing you a service. Okay. You should probably put your controller in the Tri-Rush.
Okay.
Okay, that's a pretty good spot for it. All right. Make sure your hotkeys are all set up properly. And then we're going to try go for some short trades when you're ready. Okay, nice dodge there. If you dodge the Q, go in for a small trade. Like right there is actually good. Yeah, you can. If his Q is on cooldown, you can do something like that. Try a sidestep. Okay, keep running, pushing. Oh, really, really close there. Okay, all right. We'll have you go ahead and respawn. Yeah, that was actually a really good run by Vex. Okay. So it looks like with Vex's ability to roam, we'll have to probably sit back a bit. Yeah, this is going to be one of those laning phases where we're going to have to just wait a little bit more. So yeah, you can get one more potion, and then let's go ahead and have you go back to the top, I think. Cool, you guys get an air drake. Yeah. I would assume that Malzahar would be able to keep priority over Vex, but in this MMR, certain circumstances will happen that we really can't predict. So what we'll do is just sit back, try to watch the map.
Okay, he's coming out.
Okay, so we got E coming top side here. Just try to use the assist ping. I don't know if we can. Where the brush there, that's there. Wait for Hecarim to be in position. You guys can maybe go ahead and kill here. Go on Yi. Go on Yi. Use full combo.
Oh my gosh.
You would need the flash for that. Yeah. Yeah, you did miss your window there. Alright, try to help, try to go more Kaiser. You have red. Use your potions. Use Ignite. Okay. Beautiful. Okay, alright, great. So they don't get the tower. You get 2 kills. That's good to see. Alright, awesome. Go ahead and push out that next wave, and then let's go ahead and take a tower plate. And that's going to give you enough gold for your Strikebreaker once you get that plate.
Let's crunch up.
Yeah, we have Viking for a middle, so this is a really, really good opportunity to crash the wave. Good. Alright, take 1 plate, and then we'll have you back. Alright, you get back now.
Okay.
So here's what you're going to need to do. You're going to need to get your Strikebreaker, and then rush back to lane, like, ASAP. Actually, you should probably stay.
Oh,
No, it's okay. Get your 10 gold, then rush back. My concern is he's going to go and hard shove and take that last plate. Alright, go. I think you're going to be okay. Looks like he was waiting for an item too. Yeah, this is a little bit of a narrow call here because I don't want him to take the tower. All right, so do you know what the game plan is? Your game plan is to stop him from taking this tower.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna let you try to decipher this a little bit as to what you should do.
Clear the wave, probably.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. You should proc phase rush. Yeah, that way getting away is a bit easier. Good, good. Okay, so just be mindful. His ultimate's up.
Yeah.
Careful, careful, careful. You need to get out. Okay, thankfully he does not ult you there. Yeah, be a little bit more careful with the trades.
Yeah. Go for short trades. And
Yeah, because if he's top, I'm really concerned. You should put the brush that's in front of you there. Because I'm worried about him lane yanking. That's good, okay. Okay, clear the waves that it rolls up. Really, really nice dodge there. And just remember, you can use the Strike Breaker active to help you clear minions too. I'd say wait, just to wait a little bit. Okay, his Q's on cooldown. Go and help him. So since he went tank, I don't think he's got enough damage to actually get the kill here, but use Strike Breaker as soon as he appears. Beautiful. You understand why I asked you to use Strike Breaker first, right?
just slow him down.
Yeah, the peel, the peel. All right, go ahead and get a plate here. Okay, Yi's going bottom, so that means you have time to get 2 plates here, I think. Unless Vex is here to stop you, which I don't think so. Okay. Good, good. Crash this next wave. Yeah, Mordekaiser's dead for 10, so you can go ahead and probably take another plate or 2, I think. Okay, good, good. Yeah, go for it. You actually might be able to take the tower. Go, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Rush it, rush it, rush it, rush it. Because that mid lane tower, that bot lane tower is feeling pretty weak. Alright, look at that first blood tower bonus. You also stop them from taking first blood tower bonus themselves. That's really, really good. Alright, what you should do is go ahead and back. You should get boots. Get your Berserker Graves into Zeal.
Yep.
Into Zeal. Yep, go ahead and go to Dragon. Go to Dragon. What you can do is rotate mid, and then from there, enter into River. Mid's a good docking point. You go ahead and rotate to a central point of the map to assess if your team needs help. And then if they don't, you go ahead and rotate top. If they do need your help, you rotate the Dragon. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah. I see a lot of Garen players who just path directly to the Dragon, but it's always good just to go ahead and go to your first rendezvous point, which is middle. Okay, so what you want to do... So this wave's already pushing towards Mordekaiser, so you should clear it and then go into River to check Scuttle. If you have a massive wave that comes towards you, I would prefer you to freeze it.
Okay.
Have you any experience in freezing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I've done so before. You have to leave like 3 casters up.
Okay.
Oops.
That's okay. Hopefully you won't AFK off of that. You guys should get the Herald, though. You guys are super ahead. At least you're super ahead. You should get the Herald. Just while you're taking Herald, pay attention to what Malzahar is doing, because you might need to respond. Okay, so you guys got to be really careful.
Darius bolted it. Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, no, you're...
Okay. Help. You see Mordekaiser coming in? Hold on to your abilities. Hold on to your abilities. Try to focus Master Yi. Okay. Try to proc phase rush and escape. Okay. Maybe that might not be enough. Actually, look at you. Alright, go back in to help. Be careful, though. Be careful. Ignite him and then use your W. Oh, my God. Look at you. That was an insane juke. Okay. Bravo. Alright. You should take the fruits as you're hitting the blue, just to be on the safe side, because Vex is alive right now.
Oh yeah.
You see the fruits in front of you? Okay. All right, not bad, not bad. All right, let's go ahead and have you back.
Alright, try
So,
some GA.
let's go for G. Get a stopwatch. Stopwatch in your inventory. Okay, so I know you don't build G too much. So here's what you want to use stopwatch for. You got to have a purpose. If you feel like you're going to die no matter what, don't even bother wasting it.
Okay.
If Yi dives into you and you're cutting back into your team and you're about to die, that's a good way to use stopwatch. If what you can do too is just remember you can still spin while you're in stasis. So if you're in a 1v1 and you're trying to 1v1 someone to death and they're right on top of you, you can go ahead and use stasis to avoid damage while spinning. So you spin, use stopwatch, you're good to go, okay? Alright, you should try to freeze this wave.
Okay.
The reason why is objectives are down right now, so there's no point in you pushing. You have the ability to fight him.
Okay.
Alright, Q and back off. Back off, back off. Yeah, he's got Jack Shoy, so he's pretty tanky. Just make sure he doesn't take the tower here. Really good dodges, okay? So anytime his Q's on cooldown and his pulls on cooldown, I want you to go in for a trade. Just like that. That's good, that's good. Good dodge, good dodge. When you hit level 12, I want you to go in for a fight. Okay, wait, he hit level 11. Oh, that was a really, really good dodge there. Okay, impressive. Okay, cool. Yeah, just maintain the freeze, maintain the freeze. This is good. He's extending in a very dangerous way for farms. So, I mean, Hefgar wants to come up, we can kill Morkazu again. Yeah, this is looking really, really good. Beautiful. Okay, check your objective timers when you have a second. Okay, so you have Dragon in a minute. So that means you want to maintain this freeze for like at least another 40 seconds.
Okay.
And then when Dragon's coming up, you can rotate down. And then you want to help your team, just get the big dragon. And then you guys get their dragon off of that.
So about 40 seconds I go back down?
Yeah, so at the 20-second mark, you rotate down.
Oh, okay, 20 seconds. Okay.
I say you can just go ahead and shove this wave in.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Get the cannon. Okay, go down, go down. Okay, help Malzahar push in here. So what Morkazu might do is take the tier 1 tower, but if you guys get their dragon, I think that's more important. Yep, rotate down. Lead in with Malzahar, because whoever he ults, you can blow up instantly.
Yep.
So lead in. Okay, now Morkazu is missing, so he might have recalled and headed. So you got to be careful diving in the fog of war, okay, because he might be there. Okay, hit the tab key really quick.
At the tab?
Who do you think you should focus?
Caitlyn or Morgana, maybe.
Okay, that's good. Good idea. Just no, stay with the team. Don't dive in solo.
Okay.
Just you're there just to make sure we get dragon. Okay, good. Don't go in. No. See how Varus is zoned out like that? Don't go in. Rotate the middle. Yeah, your job there is done. Rotate the middle, take that wave, and then catch Morkazu at the tier 2. Okay, go top. Okay, blast gun over. See if he's there. You can fight him. Yep, blow him up. Keep going. Strikebreaker is up in 2 seconds.
That's been altered.
Oh no. Hopefully that's going to be... Alright. Well done. Okay, when you're done with that, go ahead and go into river and ward the Baron. And then we're going to have you back after that. You can get Scuttle if you want to, but keep the Baron warded. As a top laner, it's your responsibility to ward Baron. If your support's not doing it, you got to do it. That's the policy, okay?
Yep.
Get a BO sword in your inventory. You can sell your Dorn shield for the other component, the chain vest. Or you just get the cloth armor. That's good. All right, beautiful.
Do I go bottom here and push that?
Yeah,
in?
you go bottom, because if you want to get that tier 1 tower, you are in a wonderful position to be able to take that tower solo, because you're pretty strong. You can operate in the side lane, no problem. Okay, cool. So what do you think your next item is going to be after GA?
Maybe Mortar Reminder?
Okay,
Help. Or the Bruce when it's sorry.
could be a good idea. What I'm noticing though is you already have Ignite, and you're not perma-fighting right now, so I don't think we need Mortal Reminder third item. We can operate without it. What I think might be really good for you though, in particular, it could be maybe a Sterix Gauge.
Okay.
Careful, you're in warded.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean you're the reason why is you're blocking vision. Check middle. What's happening middle? They need your assistance?
I just got a kill.
Okay, cool. Alright, go ahead and keep pushing there, get the ward into brush. Okay. You're really close to getting J. Oh, check out Ferris. He's getting engaged on. Oh, okay, never mind. Okay, it looks like he decided to back out. Honestly, with his ultimate down, you could try the chase. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. He's just gone now. Oh, take Baron. With the Master Yi dead, when you guys being so ahead, you guys should probably take Baron. Try to let Hecarim tank it, because right now you're taking a lot of damage. Oh, okay, Mordekaiser ulted. You guys should turn. Go to get the fruits. Alright, help your team out. Stridebaker. Oh. You have the stopwatch. Oh, okay. Close. W's up. Get in front of somebody. Okay, keep running. Okay, stopwatch saving the day. Okay. Alright.
Probably pretty bad, but...
Alright, okay, so pretty decent. Alright, let's get GE into your inventory.
Sterix Gauge.
Okay. Yeah, that's good.
Dragon's coming up.
Okay. You should, get to the dragon pit. You guys are on slow point, so that should be your big objective. Now, bear in mind that if you die in front of Caitlyn, she can trap as you're respawning, so that kind of defeats the purpose of GA, so just be mindful of that. You don't want to make a 1-for-1 play versus Caitlyn. If you can kill her, that's good, but you definitely want to focus her if you have the opportunity to. Oh yeah, go and Vex. Oh, okay. Well, you can Stridebaker in there. Okay, that's fine. You got GA. Okay, try to focus Caitlyn. Use your ult. Beautiful. You have Stridebaker up in 2 seconds. Okay. Wonderful. Amazing. Beautiful. Okay, go. Get that stall. Now what you want to do is probably catch that bot lane wave. Oh, actually no, Mazar's doing it. Alright, go mid-side, everyone's dead, so you can push on, take the actually no, you guys could start Baron. If you guys rush it with Varus, you guys should have enough damage to do it. So you guys just go ahead and just rush it right now. Yeah, pump as much damage as you can. With Varus, you guys should be able to take it pretty quickly. Okay, amazing. Catch the top lane wave for me, and then we'll have you reset, okay?
Okay.
So you're not quite at Sterix stats, so what you want to do is get a pickaxe into your inventory, and then we'll have you back, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, cool. Yep, you're looking pretty good. No, hit the tab key. Take a look. Look at your bounty. See how aggressive.
600.
See how aggressive you can play despite that have bounty on your head. It's because
Yeah.
the build is purposeful.
Yeah, it does feel like better not having to give away a bounty.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would go a lot more aggressive.
Go. All right, great. So
Oh, I should water baron. Oh no, we already took it. That's
we already took it. Okay, so get the scuttle crab, and then you should rotate middle.
Okay.
You get the scuttle really quickly, and then rotate middle. You guys should be sieging. You guys have really good range comp. You have Malzahar, Karma, and Varus, so you guys need to siege. That means using that range. Don't dive. The way you throw this game is if you just force a dive that doesn't need to be forced. Let Varus and Karma do their thing, and you safeguard them, okay? Because what will happen is they'll get impatient, they'll engage on you, and then you kill them, and then you win the game.
Okay.
Sounds simple on paper, right? Alright, so,
Yeah.
got the game plan? You're gonna shut for a bit? Let's see you do it.
Talk.
Uh,
Oh. Yeah.
okay, so your flash is down. Okay, oh god.
Oh, I think I want me.
Okay, oh god.
Oh, damn, that
Oh,
was bad.
okay.
I
Okay,
saw the Varus. I went
Okay,
crazy.
get used to Axe. Alright, so Caitlyn netting into your team was pretty interesting there. But yeah,
Yeah.
you gotta be really careful because like when Morgana and Caitlyn are together, you're dealing with two different types of traps, so better to stay with your team's range. Thankfully though, it looks like you were able to crack into base despite you dying. Yeah, that's okay. Alright, so you get the inhibitor here.
Yeah.
Alright. Oh, actually, it might be able to end here, potentially. Get to your team ASAP. I think they're gonna engage on. Oh my god, why is she caliber netting into the team like that? Oh boy. Okay, well. Alright.
Yeah. Shall we going bottom?
So you have an inhibitor down. Check your timers.
Timer is 2 minutes.
You have Elder Drake up. So if you have a choice of a top inhibitor or a bottom inhibitor being a down, what would you choose?
Bottom.
So you choose the inhibitor down being down next to the Elder Drake is what you're saying?
Oh no. Yeah, I think so. Because wouldn't that be pushed in and put pressure on him, or?
Yeah, but if they're dealing with Super's bottom, would it take them longer time for them to rotate?
Okay, no, okay, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you got ideally it'd be wiser to get top
Yeah.
inhibitor down because that means someone has to travel a longer distance to get to the Elder, right? All right, so let's have you back.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, Elder's up in a bit. Let's get you
Okay,
Mortal Reminder. Get the Executioner's Calling. Let's get you Super Tail. Yeah, you guys are really ahead. I want you to start using Super for Vision Denial because making sure that Elder doesn't have any wards in is really, really important here. So I want you to go into their jungle together with your team. Sweep for Vision and try to make picks. You guys need to get this Elder. You guys could throw the game if you guys don't. If you guys give it to the enemy, so it's really, really important that we try zoning away Master Yi so he can't steal it with Smite. Because that would be the way that they do steal it. Now what's cool is that Mordekaiser does not have teleport, so if we see him topside before Dragon spawns, it means he has to walk all the way to the pit. That gives you guys time to act, okay? Okay, great. Check the timer. Yep, 45 seconds.
Got time to push this.
So what guys should do is just stay there. Actually, well, if Varus is pushing middle, you want to safeguard him. I'm just really worried about him getting flanked right now, so just try to keep an eye on him. Go onto Master Yi. Beautiful, okay. Try to help your team go in. Okay, that works. Okay, alright, almost the entire team's dead. Okay, great, go ahead and end the game. Good job, you did it. Huzzah! Okay. Let's go. All right. That was a really, really good game. All right. Excellent performance. Okay, so how'd you feel about that game?
Oh, that's great. I learned a lot of stuff, I think.
Okay, tell me some
How-
things you picked up off of that game. I want to hear from you.
like controlling the jungle there, the last bit struck into my memory. How just not letting him in. Items like knowing which one to go on.
Okay.
And bounties. And when to go aggressive, when not to. Like to cement in my mind that if their cooldowns are down, then that's a great time to go in and poke him out a bit and run back out once they get their cooldowns back up.
Right, right. Do you remember that fight at Dragon, where you guys got Dragon? You guys had a choice to stay and fight, and you had a choice to get out of there. And like, you guys could have chose to fight, but it could have been really, really bad. You know what we call that?
Yeah.
We call that a high variance play. This is a this is where we're in a situation that the Dragon has been whittling down your health bars. They have spent time getting a position that's favorable for them because they have Caitlyn traps. You probably have they have probably had at least 2 in the dry brush. And you guys have used abilities already to be able to take the dragon, sometimes longer cooldowns. So when they're all grouped together, unless you guys get a pick instantly, it's going to be pretty unfavorable for you guys to go ahead and die because they have not only a good range advantage, but heading into a choke point like that when you're dealing with Caitlyn, Morgana, and Caitlyn traps, and Vexsphere, and more guys are really, really dangerous. That's one of the reasons why I asked you to not go in there, because it was too high of a variance play. It seems natural for a lot of teams being like, oh, they're in front of us, we just go and fight them. We're ahead, we just win, just go in. That's all teams really think. They think it's that simple, but it's not. That could have been a throw there. So you guys get the dragon, there's no other point to stay, right? If you fight them, you'll be fighting them on their terms, which is what they want, right? So that's one of the reasons why I asked you to not go in on that particular moment. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. Beautiful. Yep. I was trying to reel you back in a little bit because I saw you were just getting that bloodlust a little bit. But I think you did a good job. You did a really great job listening to my instruction. So hopefully you can see that applied, so to speak. Even though you did give up that bounty, it was technically a valuable death because even though you did die and give a lot amount of gold, your team was still able to crack into the base, so it minimized the impact of that death. But imagine if you gave that 10 minutes earlier. Imagine if you gave that to a Master Yi who could have completed his 3rd item. That could have changed the course of things. Even imagine it being given to the Morgana, because I don't know if there's another carry on this team. But yeah, I the biggest thing would have been 1k gold being given to the Master Yi. And you were sitting on a 1k gold bounty, I think, for close to 10 minutes. So it just puts things in perspective how Guardian Angel can assist you when you're really ahead. Because you're still in a MMR where people will tower dive. People will be bloodlusty themselves. They'll try to turbo dive and turbo tunnel for kills. Guardian Angel allows you to capitalize on that and punish them for that behavior. You're dealing with other people's bloodlust too. You got to keep that in mind, right?
Yep.
So something to keep in mind there. All right. There's a few things I maybe wanted to review in the replay. It would take a few minutes. For example, that first gank, I want to talk about that a little bit because I think there was even though you guys profited off of that, you guys could have maybe gotten a better value out of it, is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so let me put up the replay here really quickly. And I want to take a look. Actually, I'm going to have to look at the VOD because I don't have an account for OC. So
Okay.
actually, what you can do is you can go into the replay yourself. It's not as
Okay.
optimal, but go into the replay yourself, and then yeah, you're already sharing your screen with me, so that actually works out really well. Yeah, we'll just do that. Okay, so we're gonna boot this up and then just go to the point before the first kill, where Hecarim was ganking top. I'm just gonna keep the camera centered on you, okay?
Okay. Like about here.
Yep. Okay. So just keep an eye on you. Okay, hit the PK. On the keyboard.
Okay. Oh.
Okay, so you see how your pathing is kind of complicating things a bit,
Yeah, if I went around this way.
right?
Maybe.
So like if Marquez heads into the alcove, right? How is he going to escape really? You know, you guys are both at a good amount of HP. So because you chose, go hit the backspace bar. It's gonna bring you back 15 seconds. All right, let's watch this in slow mo. Okay, go ahead and start. Yep, that's good. Okay, so if you notice, you expended your summoner spells to secure the skill, where if you did position yourself to sandwich him for a pincer attack in the alcove, you might have been able to save your sum.
Oh, okay.
Right? So you can tell by Hecarim's body language that he's already like going that way, and you thought about going the other way for a second there, but you kind of like hesitated with a bit yourself, and now look what you had to do. I think that maybe could have been prevented. You could have just used Ignite to get the kill here if you just went the other way, you know? Yeah, so that's something I wanted to say about that in particular.
Okay.
All right.
That makes sense, yeah.
Yeah,
Is
so
there another point?
let's see. Is there anything else I want to review in this replay? Yeah, actually, let's go to the was it the third dragon? I think it's the third dragon. Which is that one? I think it's that one. Yeah, right here, I think. Okay. Okay, so again, I just want you to see this in action, what we talked about earlier conceptually, right? So, another thing too is that we have to pay attention to what's happening bottom. Hit pause, and then look. Yi did this deliberately, which is a great call. Even though we didn't buy into it, this can work often in solo queue. He summoned Herald bottom to draw pressure, right?
Yep.
Now the Varus has to go ahead and deal with it if he wants to go and preserve the tower. Or, well, he doesn't exactly have to deal with it, but he's choosing to deal with it. So, like, the choice has already been made. So, like, now look at Yi's position. He's coming in. Now, how would he approach this team fight if you guys were to engage?
Go around like here.
And do you guys have vision?
No, we don't have vision at all. No.
So you see how he was trying to set up a team fight that could actually maybe work?
Yeah.
Because technically with Varus being occupied there, you guys would be forcing a 4v4. So that's one of the reasons why I asked you guys not to go in there specifically, because it's a very, very high variance play. You know, Mordekaiser being absent from the equation is, you know, a little bit favorable for you, but still, like, this is an opportunity where you could actually go ahead and pick up some resets, which is why I asked you guys not to go in specifically here. So hopefully it makes a little bit more sense. Cool. All right, I think that's particularly it. I mean, there's a part of me that wants to take a look at the opportunity where you died, but if I'm being honest with myself and based on your reaction, I think you kind of realized where you screwed up as it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got threw off because.
Yeah. What you ended up doing is that you guys were catching Caitlyn out, but then you also walked into tier 3 tower range, and I think you started accumulating aggro. So let's go and play it. Yep, go and play it here. Okay. Malzahar's coming in here. Varus ultimate.
Oh.
Yeah, so little unfortunate. You kind of chose to go ahead and back out, but then you went straight into the Morgana queue, and then she's loading up traps. Yeah, so that was a bit unfortunate there. Just want to be a bit careful, because when you're diving specifically into Morgana Caitlyn, it's the Morgana queue, and then there's the Caitlyn trap. And what they'll do is they'll combo their CC together. So if you get hit with a Caitlyn trap, it's a Morgana queue. If you get hit with a Morgana queue, it's a Caitlyn trap. So you gotta be really, really careful. If your W's not up in this situation, I would say be very, very careful approaching them. Be more reserved. Try to extend the range of Varus, not look to get your own range, if that's what, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Because you being the safeguard front line to Varus ensures that Mastery never dives onto him, and he can stay alive and thriving. Okay?
Yep.
Alright, I think that's all I wanted to really review on this replay. There's only like little tidbits, nothing really super substantial there. Alright, we'll go ahead and have you exit out. And then from there, we'll probably just do a time check. So we have about 40, we have about like 45 minutes left. I think we can get you into another game. Although, like, depending on how long that game is, we may not have much time to review it. Or we could take a look at a replay of a game that you've already played. What would you prefer to do? I'll give you the choice.
We can go for a replay.
Okay.
For a replay this time.
Okay, that sounds good. All right, let's take a look at your match history. Yeah, it'd be any game that you want to really take a look at.
I was gonna say this one, but the Ringo AFK, that one.
Okay, yeah, okay. So maybe there's not much you could have done in that situation.
Not load anymore.
Yeah, I haven't loaded anymore. Okay. All right. Let's see. With 45 minutes here. Yeah, it's a shame the match history doesn't go that back. Let me take a look. Let me take a look at your 8 and 5 game.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, open that up really quickly. You don't have to pull up the replay just yet. I want to take a look at. So you laned versus who this game?
Set.
Okay. And how'd that laning phase go?
It went really well, I think. He ended up getting a bit ahead during the late game, but yeah, I think I fared really well against him. I was able to find his mistakes, like him using his W cooldown in the wave too much.
Right. Okay, punishing for using his haymaker. Okay, great. Okay. Okay, so I see myself having two options here for you. We can get you into a game and cram in some very quick review after the game's over in the 45 minutes that we have. Or what I could do is I can go over a replay of another Garen player covering a matchup that you think you struggle with super strongly about. And we can go ahead and just talk about some concepts for improvement there by analyzing the replay and what the Garen player is doing. What would you think might be better for you?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do the replay.
Oh, sure. Okay. So name a matchup that is the bane of your existence that you'd like to get better on. Doesn't have to be Camille if you're going to choose to keep Camille as your ban.
It's Darius, I think.
Okay, cool. Wonderful. This is really good, actually, because there's so much that we can talk about in this matchup. All right. Let's see. I can actually maybe pull one of my replays up. I could probably pull... I could probably look at a replay from the channel too. Let me think about... Okay, so when you approach the Darius matchup, what runes do you take is what I'm trying to ask you.
Whatever the spreadsheet told me to take, I believe.
Yeah, I think I make the recommendation for Conqueror. I've also made recommendations for Phase Rush.
Yeah,
okay.
I take the Conqueror with the Biscuit build.
So I think you already have some pre-established safety measures when it comes to Phase Rush, but not every Garen player knows actually how to fight Darius at the finish. So what I'd like to do is probably go ahead and cover one of my own personal VODs, so we can talk about how to actually play aggressive versus Darius, because I think in your MMR you should look to do just that. And granted, you might fail trying to learn the strategy maybe the first 2 or 3 times, but what's really important is that if we can get this strategy down, that your confidence level in this matchup will be boosted, well, in a good way, of course, and you'll be able to actually win some Darius matchups. It's really, really exciting to be able to beat this champion as well. So let me go to my YouTube channel and I'm going to share my screen with you, and we'll cover the Darius matchup. Now, I uploaded a Darius matchup to my YouTube channel, I think, over the course of the last month. I don't know if you caught it. If you did watch it, then maybe we'll take a look at a different VOD. But if you didn't watch it, oh yeah, it's 2 months ago. I still think it's super relevant though.
Okay.
Because like in terms of preseason, nothing really changed that much. Darius itemization's still the same. Garen itemization is probably still the same versus Darius. All right. And Darius hasn't been buffed lately. Garen hasn't been buffed in that time frame. So let's talk about this, okay?
Yep.
All right. So I'm going to share my screen with you right now, and then we'll head on over to this. Okay. So here we go. Let me know if you can see it.
Okay, I can see it. Yep.
Okay, beautiful. All right, so this is a Darius replay, I think. Okay, this is taken in Masters. Masters MMR around 100 LPA. So let's cover the runes this game. So this game, we took inspiration. I don't know if you have any experience in inspiration, but for this game, we took Cosmic Insight and we took Biscuits. Do you understand why I chose these runes?
The biscuits counteract the bleed, I believe.
Yes. Darius, bleed passive is how many seconds? Do you know? You can guess.
Not sure about that.
Okay, all right. So if you were to guess any number, like what do you think?
About like 2 seconds.
Okay, it's a little bit longer than that.
Oh, okay.
It's 5 seconds, approximately.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, approximately 5 seconds, because there's a little bit of variance in the coding. It's really complicated, but what I'm going to tell you, the gist of it is 5 seconds. The biscuit in duration, do you know how many seconds that is?
It's 5 seconds.
Yes, so if you time it correctly, it counters Darius's passive entirely. So if you have Adorn Shield running, your base health regen running, and Biscuit, you can find yourself surviving a lot of situations where you're left with 50 HP and you're basically bleeding out, but you pop the Biscuit and you stay alive, which is really cool. It's also used for all-ins too. Like, you want to use it at the tail end of the fight, so you don't want to use it as soon as you're receiving damage, because again, it's based off of missing HP. So when you're like below half health is when you should start popping 2 biscuits, you know, or if you're critically low, you can start pop a biscuit. I like to pop a biscuit right before he ults me or after he ults me if I only have one. If I have 2, then I'll pop both around the 40% mark. And then also I'm taking Cosmic Insight. Do you know why I maybe took Cosmic Insight as that option?
Well, I believe that's a summoner like cooldown thing. So
yeah, it gives summoner spell cooldown reduction, which is really cool. It takes a good chunk of Flash's cooldown off. Do you know how much?
It's like 100 seconds, is it?
I wish it was 100 seconds. Otherwise, everyone would be taking. No, it's 40 seconds.
40 seconds.
It's still pretty substantial. It's almost a minute, so
Yeah.
it's really big. That brings you down to a 4-minute and 20-second cooldown. And that's really big because like in this matchup, having flash up compared to Darius not having flash up is really big. So we take these runes. Now, of course, you can take other things too. Like you can take sorcery. Some Garen players are really daring. You can take second window flinching. That's good too. But I really love this rune page for the all-in potential, and you're gonna love it too. Okay. So we'll start off this matchup with these runes. Now, I try to keep in mind that my wave manipulation is tailored towards the anticipation of Elise ganking me topside. We can't see the map too much because I have the map cover on, but
yep.
I don't know if Elise is covering top or bottom for the first gank. I don't know if they're pathing top or bottom. So I need to be respectful of not knowing that information. So what I go do first is if my jungler wants a leash, I go ahead and leash for him. And then where we path after that is really important. We're going to talk about that. So he goes ahead and starts the leash, and I walk this way. You see, do you understand why I'm walking this way?
Yeah, in case he's hiding the tri-brush.
Right. I see so many Garen players fall prey to this strategy, so I choose the long way around, and I just get to go ahead and walk the lane just like that. This really eliminates the possibility of him being there, because you don't want to fight Darius level 1, especially not being near your wave. There's no way you can mathematically out-damage him. So, thankfully, he is not there. He walks up. If we pay attention to his health bar too, and his mana bar, he was at full mana and full HP. So based on that information, we're led to believe that he didn't leash. Although maybe he did leash and he didn't use any abilities. So again, there's a little bit of a mind game to it. But if he did have mana, if he didn't have full mana and his mana bar was partially chunked, that does say a lot, right?
Yeah.
Because if he is using mana, then there's a greater implication that he was actually leashing for a lease. Okay, so what just expired there was Darius's Bone Plate. In 95% of your matchups, you're going to deal with a Conquer Darius taking Resolve secondary with Bone Plate and Flinching. I think it's the super standard room page to take on Garen. Every once in a while, you'll deal with the Darius with second wind. It's going to be Bone Plate in its entirety. But what you're looking for is a big objective, is before any all-in, before any big tussle, any big trade, you're looking to get Bone Plate on cooldown. Because the last thing you want to do is flash Q, ult him, and then have 2 plates soak up your combo, and then you don't kill him, and then he kills you. So, what can you do to confirm Bone Plates down?
E into him?
You can. And how would you check to see if it's down?
You would click on him, maybe.
Yeah, you would click on him because there's a cooldown indicator on his status bar that will actually give you the exact time when Bone Plate's up. This is a really, really important thing because Bone Plate up for Darius can literally make or break a 1v1. So what you can do is lean in and apply 1 spin against him, and that 1 instance of damage will be enough to get his Bone Plate down. With Bone Plate confirmed, you are now reaching the first level of criteria to be able to kill Darius in lane, and then we're going to go ahead and talk about what the other level of criteria is as we get into this replay here. So as you notice here, I'm just sitting back, not really looking to play too aggressive. I'm just looking for farm. We're also trying to bear in mind what ability he has first, which I think is his Q. So unfortunately, I get minion block there, which is a little unfortunate. So I'm not looking to commit too heavily here. I could have dodged the Q if I decided not to stand next to minions, so that's my mistake. All right, here's his level 2. We keep our distance. Another big thing to be cheesed about is level 2. This applies to many top lane matchups, but for Darius especially, Darius players will get apprehend, Q, and run you down with autos with ghosts. So you got to be really careful not to be in range of his level 2. Expect them to get it first. Okay, great. So the wave is crashing here. We're just sitting back. To win and succeed at the Darius matchup requires the utmost amount of patience. This is what makes this matchup difficult for Garen, because a lot of Garen players, because like you have to be insanely patient sometimes in order to succeed versus this champion. I'm sure you understand it though. So notice how I'm not committing. This is a very, very important thing too here, because imagine if I tried fighting him here. Now you would think naturally, okay, RISTE has the tower nearby. What could possibly go wrong here? You know, if a fight goes south, you know, he can walk to the tower. It's no problem. You know, the next Garen player might actually try to take a fight here. But if we were to commit into Darius and use Q, why do you think this is like a bad idea?
Oh, he can E and he has cannon wave.
Yeah, he is. He does. And if we wanted to gap close, we're going to be using Q, right?
Yeah.
But the issue with Q is that it triggers the minion wave. So if we're trying to fight Darius, we need to make sure that the minion wave is also in a favorable state. This is the second tier of criteria to be able to fight Darius. Counting minions, and also making sure that you have a cannon helping you compared to a cannon helping him. So if we're in a position where the cannon is more favored to being able to assist Darius, we do not try to entertain that play. There's exceptions to those rules, of course. You know, if he's got a bigger minion wave, but you're at full HP and you have resources to kill him, and then your jungler's coming up, that's maybe a flex situation. But in this situation, we're not choosing to fight him. As tempting as it may be with the tower nearby. Also, if this fight goes south and I live with like 300 HP, who can gank me and dive me? Elise. So like another layer of consideration here is also factoring in the enemy jungler. I'm forced to play more passive than I normally want to in this matchup because Elise is one of the best early gank junglers and she can set up insane dives. So I am playing on super high alerts. I'm maintaining my potions. I'm maintaining my biscuits, because what will happen in some Darius matchups is that you will get dove at full HP, and you're going to want every bit of HP possible to make things happen. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay,
Sense.
cool. Okay. So, not saying that this particular here was a smart idea on my end. Ideally, I should have went for the cannon, so this is a mistake on my end. But what I do, you see him starting the animation. What is he doing?
He's doing his um
He's
W, I think.
that looks like W, but I think that's E. Look at that. Yeah.
It is too. Yeah.
Notice what I'm doing in anticipation. I'm spinning. I'm spinning, right? Because if I'm going to be locked into his apprehend, I might as well start spinning to accumulate conquer stacks. I see a lot of Garen players just don't do this. It's such a free thing to do. If you ever anticipate he's going to apprehend you, start spinning. Because if you're taking Conqueror, you're stacking up Conqueror, which is really, really valuable for any potential auto, or just basically healing so you can fend yourself off. If you're taking Phase Rush, well, that's good in itself because you're already applying one stack of Phase Rush. So after he apprehends you, you can go for an auto kill, and you get to go. You can go ahead and get out of there. So regardless of what playstyle you're taking, you're always in a wonderful, wonderful spot to spin whenever Darius apprehends you. Does this make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Cool. Okay, wonderful. So I got 5 stack there. I maybe should have stayed a little bit less, but that's okay. I have my Dorn Shield. I have my potions. I'm looking to sit back, get my W back up, because the issue here is that it may not be Darius actually trying to prep himself to kill me. It's more so Elise.
Yep.
So now that I'm in a danger zone, I really have to sit back and just play patiently. But we did actually create some leverage there because Darius did expend his potion. We still have our potion. So right now we're trying to win a war of attrition by being very controlled about our trades. I'm also using my ward. Unfortunately, the camera's covering the board part of the HUD there, but I have my ward. I cover my tri-brush to make sure that if Elise is ganking me from at least that angle, I will be notified about it. Okay, I dodged the Q, which was a great movement there. Notice how I wait for him potentially to use W so I can cleanse the slow with Q. Because it feels absolutely terrible to go ahead and Q into him and then he just W's you and then he's just going to go ahead and cut you out. So you got to be really, really careful. Darius has 2 ways to interrupt our movement. W and E. In a bit, we're going to talk about the 3rd tier of criteria for fighting Darius. Okay, so right now we have a wave advantage. And we would say to ourselves, okay, this is great. We're going to go ahead and play aggressive here. But unfortunately, we got to throw that bit of logic out the window because the Spider Lady is still on the map. So unless we get, like, another thing too is that unless we get confirmation as to where Elise is, we have to play super dialed back. Because like any bit of advantage we can get here, which is all great, goes right out the window if she comes up and burns our sums or kills us. Either or, not good. So if you notice my position here, I'm staying with the wave. I'm just letting the casters do their thing, but I'm playing in a net of safety. It's much different being here in the casters compared to being in nearby the trinket that I put that brush, right? Do you know the difference, right? Or away from a mini wave, and like the brush offers us safety, but in a melee matchup, that doesn't really mean too much. Do you also understand why I also put the trinket in that brush there too?
Just in case of a lane gank.
Yeah, because at least can lane gank and flank by tri-brush. So it really is a difficult type of situation for us because she forces us to use our aggression vision constantly because she can gank from so many different angles. So like whenever you have vision available, always put it into a brush that is likely or a spot that's likely that Elise is going to come flank because you're going to need every bit of vision possible to educate your decisions. And that's what I'm trying to do right now. I'm trying to get as much information as I can to dictate what I'm going to do next. Okay. Another resource that we're also paying attention to is mana. Darius is a champion who has mana unlike us. So if Darius is ever at a point, not saying it happens always, but if Darius is ever at a point where he's low on mana, of course, that means he's not going to be able to play aggressive as he wants to, and he's going to have to auto us to death, which gives us more options to be able to kill him. All right. So just for reference, do you know how much mana it costs for Darius to ult? If you were to guess.
I remember it being high.
Okay.
Like 100?
Okay.
No.
None is 100 mana. Most ultimates in League of Legends as a baseline roll cost 100 mana. Riot Games did the effort to like standardize ultimate mana costs over the course of the last few years. back in
Oh.
earlier seasons, like there you would see champions with like 300 mana or 200 mana to use their abilities and ultimate abilities, and it felt really bad because people had to watch the mana very carefully. Riot Games gave a big quality of life change to a lot of champions by just standardizing all that. So you're going to see most champions with 100 mana or lower. Very rarely will you have a champion that has more than 100 mana as cost for the ultimate. Okay. Yeah, but for Darius it's 100. And you always want to pay attention to that number too. So like if they're sitting on 40 to 50, that means that they would need probably 20 seconds to be able to get minimum to be able to get 100 mana. So that's a big window to exploit.
Hope you are having a great evening, man.
All right.
Yeah, sense, yeah.
Cool. Okay, so as he's walking up, I'm guiding myself back because again, we are paying attention to his body language. Like he might know I might have the advantage here, but if he's gonna try to play aggressive, sometimes that Darius walking up is giving me the impression that he wants to fight, even though it's an unfavorable type of situation, because he's baiting for Elise. So like as much as I want to fight him right now, you notice I'm kind of like really just keeping the line. I'm keeping uniform with the minion wave because I know I have to stay disciplined here. Here's another great thing that we're talking about too. Let's go back 5 seconds. Look how I get the minion there. We extend our range by using spin.
Yep.
And what's really good about that, you know, right? Let's talk about a few things here. Our spin is longer than our auto attack range. You knew that, right?
Yeah, I did. Yep.
Okay, cool. But there's another noteworthy thing that might not make people think about here. When we auto attack, what happens? So like
we draw aggro on the minions.
yeah, that's true. Well, yeah, depending on who we hit, right? But if we want to last hit a minion, okay, we're swinging our sword, but are we moving when we auto attack?
No, we stand still.
No, we stand still. What's really great about Garen's spin is that you're able to maintain movement and your movement command when you're spinning. So when it comes to weaving in and out to get minions, we can use spin to not only keep us moving, so our movement is not halted, so that way we can get out of Darius's range quicker, but also extend our range too. Now, granted, using spin to last hit a cannon is really cumbersome. So, granted, this is not a flawless type of solution for this type of situation, but we're trying to use it for critically low minions and try to snag whatever minions we can get. So this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to extend my range. And there's definitely a wonderful duality to this as well, right? If we're spinning in to get minions, that means Darius has to contemplate grabbing us while we're spinning to really accrue any damage. And that makes him hesitate a little bit. We're also masking our movement too, as a third added benefit, to be able to dodge his abilities easier. Because he doesn't know I'm going to be juking to the left or right, so therefore he misses his Q. Do you have any questions at this time?
Everything's straightforward so far.
Okay, wonderful. All right, great. So it looks really tempting here for us to go ahead and fight because we are in we're in a position where we can trigger minion aggro for Darius and we can avoid it at the same time if we choose to sequence E into Q. However, because we're most likely not able to fully kill him here unless he hard commits into us, we want to wait a little bit longer because we want to go ahead and narrow the window that he has to escape by waiting until we have ultimate. Because conceptually on paper, our damage in 3 seconds is much stronger than his damage in 3 seconds. If we get to 4 to 5 seconds, that's when his damage starts swinging up because he's accumulating his stacks. And once he hits 5, then he's going to be out DPSing us. So again, we're all thinking about windows of when to hit him and strike him. So instead of choosing to fight him here, I'm instead just going to go ahead and try to get the cannon and try to buy my time, save my resources. I have 1 potion, 2 biscuits. I'm biding my time, stacking resources. Okay. He hit me with a slow. I choose to spin preemptively here, and I'm kiting back into my wave. So his cannon is gone. My cannon is up. I just got his bone plate down. If he chose to commit into that fight there, I would actually be able to put him into a position where he dies. And if you do notice too, I hit level 5 because he hasn't gotten the cannon minion yet. So granted, like this would be a situation where we could play more aggressive. But again, I'm always putting a little bit of hesitation to every one of my plays and being very reserved because again, Elise can mess up my stuff very easy. So if it was like a farming Shyvana jungle, I would probably conduct myself very differently. If you're ever in a Darius matchup and you have a jungler who can gank very strongly like Elise, You always got to be a little bit reserved about everything you do here, because one mistake can cost you a laning phase, as you may know already. Okay. So my next ward should be up somewhat soon. Not available ready yet. So I'm just making sure that I'm keeping my distance, staying with the wave. Really, really important there. But I'm also paying attention very closely. Even though you can't see where my eyes are actually glued to right now, I can tell you exactly what I'm looking at. I'm looking at my XP bar. I'm trying to determine how many minions I need to hit level 6 to an exact number. Because I want to spin into a wave that Darius is, kill one minion, rank up level 6, and catch him in the act. I want to be able to level up to level 6 as I'm fighting him, which is the perfect big opportunity to go ahead and place this champion at that timer. Okay, so I got hit by a Q there. It's unfortunate. I should have been more respectful of all the cooldown there. Just last hitting minions staying next to my casters. I'm not choosing to commit any trades into them. If you notice too, over the course of this entire laning phase, you will notice that not once have I ever queued into him. It's because that is a fool's errand, especially in this type of circumstance. You never want to do that. Queuing into Darius for short trades is like literally asking just to die. You know, it's one thing if you have Fate's Rush and Stridebreaker, but yeah, so again, very disciplined about the trading patterns here. So right now my objective is to try to crash this wave. See how I noticed his bot lane shift, he's trying to play aggressive. So when I started spinning. You know, it's almost like the I'm going to call it like the hermit crab type of stance, you know. Go up to a hermit crab, try to pick it up. It's going to go into its shell. This is the hermit crab stance, you know. We're going hermit crab here. Yep, just like a little turtle. We're just turtling in. All right. If you notice our EXP bar, so we hit level 6 on this next wave that's coming up here. Now, granted, this type of cheese that we're doing doesn't work versus every Darius player, nor does it work on every top laner. What we're doing is probing Darius's game knowledge and his current attention level over the game to really see if he's paying attention to when we're going to hit level 6. But like with every opportunity in solo queue, every chance play that we make, we try taking every shot that we can in the dark. And this is a play that the variance doesn't seem to be that high. We are still in a really, really good position to be able to kill him. So at the very least, if you hit level 6 before him, and he does anticipate that, he's just going to back off. So there's no penalty. But we're just going to go and probe to see what his response is going to be. Okay, here we go. I need to kill about 3 minions at level 6. So right now I'm really looking for that opportunity. And here's where I'm thinking about doing it. But unfortunately...
DEMACIAAAA.
Unfortunately, we both hit level 6, so I missed that window. Darius played really reserved near his tower, so he played appropriately there. So that means I'm going to have to look for another window to actually kill him. Okay, so I'm backing off here. I'm maybe staying a little bit too forward there. I'm not going to say that my positioning is perfect there. I really should be backing off into this wave, waiting for the next wave to walk up. Okay, so he's got the minion advantage. Ideally, this is not the place to fight him. As tempting as it is, level 6, you know, you're gonna feel like that impulse saying, "Hey, you know, things are happening on the map. I gotta go get a snowball. I gotta win." But granted, it's not gonna happen that easily. So what I gotta do is just sit back. Gotta play patiently. Now I know my jungler is in a really good position to be able to carry the game, so that's why I'm typing in chat playing jungle. I choose not to freeze this wave. It's way too dangerous for me to do it. It's way too stacked. Fighting this wave and Darius at the same time is suicide, so I'm choosing not to do that. All right, here's a tricky point. So we're at a point where both Darius and I can back and get our sizable purchase point. For him, it's going to probably be Ninja Towers and a dagger, or he can get creative and get like Sheen or something. It can be super crazy sometimes what Darius players go with 1500 gold. But for us, we're looking for Berserker Gates because we're taking Conqueror. Right? So we're trying to determine whether or not we need it back. Now, since he didn't back, we're choosing to stay. Right? We won't want to back on a cannon wave. There's Jinx with the jump scare. Thank you, Jinx. Oh, okay, here we go. So I dip into Fog of War, giving Darius the impression that I am heading towards my team. Now, this is really, really interesting situation because he's level 7 right now, and I'm level 6. So I have to be really careful fighting him here. I think what I end up doing is I actually choose to fight him. Actually, no. No, I waited a little bit longer. I'm mistaken. So I make the choice not to fight him because he's got level advantage, and I decide to go ahead and let him go through. And I decide to let him go into jungle because how I see this fight right now panning out is that I want Darius to be able to extend, and then I'm going to go in after him because I don't want to be sandwiched between Elise and Darius. So instead, I'm going to let Darius go in, and now I'm going to try to look for any opportunity I can to assist. Okay, so I see that my assistance isn't required or I'm more so zoned out. I cannot commit into that, so I sit back. If I was to go into that, I would die. So,
Yep.
Of course, obviously, we would want to go and just sit back. My main priority right now is to get level 7 because I want to be able to kill Darius in lane. So right now, I want to be able to just be able to match its level. So I go back into play wave. I call it quits on whatever's happening in jungle. And I just go ahead and start stacking up a wave. This is really, really important for two reasons. Or two different scenarios. Either he chooses to walk up to defend the wave, and I have an option to pressure him into the tower and potentially choose a favorable fight because I have winning advantage. Or I stack the wave, crash it, and then I'm able to back. I think the second scenario is what applies here. I think what we're doing is just trying to stack the wave. But my memory does sometimes fail me. I have to go ahead and see what he ends up doing here. So, again, I would love to fight him in this wave. But do you know what kind of is creating the problem here?
Elise.
Yeah. So again, it's just really painful because like there is a realm that I could play aggressive here and kill him and Elise isn't there. But I don't know this information. I'm dealing with this in the past, me playing that game in that technical present. So I'm really trying to make sure that my all-in is perfect because I don't want to make a 50% success scenario happen. I want to make a 80%, a 90% happen. So I'm really just being very reserved with my criteria here because I know all he is sitting on is a Doran shield. I have 3 biscuits. So like I can restore up to 200 HP over the course of like 10 seconds in a fight. He's not able to do that. So like realistically here, I have the advantage right now, but I have to make sure that I'm in the perfect fight to be able to blow this guy up. So I'm sitting back. Now we're approaching the 8-minute mark, and neither of us have killed each other. This is sometimes what the Darius matchup is. Like, as painful as it is, this is the reality. Like, I'm down 10 CS. I'm still fishing for that perfect opportunity to go in. So regardless of whether they're taking Conquer or Phase Rush, you're still in situations like this where you got to be really reserved. So since I'm near my tower here, I could play a little bit more aggressive. I could maybe try attempting a bad trade and then healing up with a biscuit. So, like, I have that liberty. I'd say, like, if Elise was confirmed somewhere, I would go for that. But I'm assuming in what's happening in this replay is that I don't know where Elise is still. She hasn't been confirmed anywhere recently. So, I'm just sitting back. Okay. This is another cannon wave. This is another window where I could potentially fight. And this is where I'm trying to, like, pro for that opportunity. I get in range for Q. My movement was imprecise, and I get hit by it. So I W the Q here. Okay, and we do get the dragon. Okay, so I'm assuming at this point, what just happened?
She just got Rift Herald.
She just got the Rift Herald. Okay, so what does that say? What does that say? She was top recently. There's so many junglers that can stop doing Herald, gank top, kill you, and then just go back to doing Herald. This happens so much in League of Legends. It's utterly crazy. Like, Herald does like no damage whatsoever. That's how crazy this is. Like, you could be tanking Herald for like 35 seconds, and then could you just go ahead and gank a lane with 80% HP? It's just nutty. Herald needs to do more damage. But I digress. So we had an objective swap there. Elise actually spent time topside. She chose to commit to Herald because she knew that I wasn't going to be playing aggressive. This is the best scenario. Even though the enemy jungler gets Herald, at least we didn't die. Because our goal right now is to defend this tower. So with the information I have, I'm trying to assess it whether or not I can back. And based on what I'm seeing, it looks like I can back. So I go ahead and spend gold and I get components. I go ahead and get a Iron Spike Whip. I get another health potion, and I get Berserker Graves. So right now, I'm extremely strong. This is a wonderful, wonderful power spike point. We have 9 spins on our way to 10. We have Iron Spike Whip, which is 30 attack damage plus the active. We have Potion, 3 biscuits. I have Ignite Advantage, and we have 4 points to spin. Right now, if I choose a fight carefully, I can blow this Darius up. So that's what we're doing. Okay, we get the lane here. The wave is in a favorable state right now. So again, I'm going back to the normal criteria of trying to confirm releases, and then second tier of criteria is getting his bone plate down. If those two are met, we're going to go ahead and try to go for a fight. Okay, so I'm pinging because I have a suspicion that Elise is coming top to make a play. Darius is leaving lane. Okay, I have Udyr coming in here. So unfortunately, like that gank was not possible. And you got to be really careful because it's not just the enemy jungler that you need to watch out for. It's your own jungler that you need to watch out for. There are so many Darius matchups that are botched because junglers will force really bad ganks. And Darius is much better of a 1v2 champion than you are. 100%. So, like, don't be afraid to ping your jungler off if he's forcing a really bad gank. I choose not to entertain that play because I know there's no purpose. There's nothing to be gained. I have a wave that's about to crash into my tower that I'm trying to freeze for. If I try to hard commit into a tower dive there, we potentially not only get outplayed, but I lose my freeze and a bunch of minions. So I'd go ahead and don't entertain that play any further. I'll go back to my freeze. And this is still valuable for me because now Darius has to wonder, hey, Udyr top? Is he going to come back top lane? So I choose to prey on that by freezing the wave. I skip it a little bit here and there, but I choose to freeze it because I don't have any important purchases right now, so I don't need the back. Some Garen players will be like, oh, I got 450 gold. Let's just go and spin this wave. Back for Ruby Crystal. That works. No. What we need here is an EXP advantage because if we get a level on him, forget the Ruby Crystal. That level is going to be so much more valuable. Do you understand? Because the one level that we have over him is going to be one level that we're closer to level 11 that he doesn't have. And rank 2 ultimate Garen versus rank 1 Darius ultimate, I think we know who the winner is in that equation. Okay, so Darius comes up to break the freeze. Unfortunately, my EXP lead is not that great enough. I choose to fight him here. And look at my EXP bar. I'm about to hit level 9.
Yeah.
So I get my potions ready. And I choose to commit spin first. Right? Because if we're trying to kill this person, if we're trying to kill Darius, we're going E the Q. Do you understand why?
Alicia summoned returned somewhere else. So she's there getting stuff as well, and his bone plating's down.
His bone plate's down? Yes, exactly. And what else does he do except just, doing AoE damage?
I don't know.
It's okay. It also reduces armor.
Oh, okay, yes.
Right, so if we're trying to do the most amount of damage possible, we are using spin first to apply the armor shred. Then we are going Iron Spike Whip at the tail end of the spin after 6 spins have been applied because we require 6 in order to drop his armor by 25%. We Iron Spike Whip at the end of the spin. Ignite, auto, Q, ult. Let's see it happen. Spin is happening. I made potions reserve. I get chunked there, unfortunately. I pop one potion preemptively. I have my level 9. I'm popping a biscuit soon. We apply Ignite right now. My spin's almost done. I Q. Okay. He's ramping up Q now. This is a critical point in the fight. You notice I haven't used W yet. A lot of Garen players will say, hey, you should Q the W. No, I highly disagree. So he's getting his W ready. I'm dropping the ult right now. So this is unfortunately a little bit of a misplay on my part. I should have landed one more auto in before ulting here. This does not kill him. So he has enough to go and ult himself. He jumps up in the sky.
Yep.
And, well, I was ready to W his ultimate. Luckily, the auto there was enough to kill him, but if he dropped that ult, I would have had Biscuit and W. Now, granted, I should have used the Biscuit there as I was getting to that point, so that was a misplay on my end. I should have been popping Biscuit, but just like that, we were able to kill Darius solo. So I want to just go ahead and review that killing Darius in lane requires so much criteria. Like there's even multiple scenarios that we could kill Darius alternatively that didn't even feature any of the stuff that we just saw on screen. It's all about recognizing windows of weakness that we can try to go ahead and either cheese him, but which is why we baited him into a fight with him having minions. Like, I was able to clear those minions pretty easily, right? So like he thinks he has the advantage by being in that non-cannon wave, but since I can clear those minions very easily and hit level up by doing it, I chose to go ahead and surprise him by choosing a fight that he thought he could win, but I ended up winning myself. It's a big tilting thing for him. But like, besides a fight like that, there's also another big window where you can go ahead and engage on Darius, and it's not just his ultimate being down too. There's another big cooldown that him having down is a really big window for you to go in. Do you know what ability that might be?
Is it his W? His W has a very big cooldown. Oh no, his E.
His E's got a very sizable cooldown, because whether Darius is trying to stay on top of you or where Darius is trying to get away from you, Darius is going to use E either offensively or defensively to be able to escape. Have you ever chased a Darius before and he just pulls you in and then just keeps running? Yeah, it's pretty frustrating to deal with, but it's actually very valuable in helping him space himself between you and him. But the thing about that is if he doesn't have any ability haste, it's tied to a very lengthy cooldown. Do you know an approximation how long that cooldown might be?
20 seconds, isn't it?
That's actually a really good guess. Yeah, really good guess. Darius E rank 1 is 24 seconds in length. This is definitely a big thing to factor in, because the next Garen player might say, "Oh, I'm dealing with like a 10-second cooldown," because like you're not permafighting Darius, so sometimes you gotta wonder, okay, how long is actually this cooldown? But unless you know, right? Unless you apply that game knowledge into the situation and actually have a concrete idea as to how long that cooldown is, you are now mentally conditioning yourself into working with less of a window than you actually do have, because you don't know the cooldown. Now, you actually guessed 20 seconds, which I think is a really good idea. When it comes to every cooldown in League of Legends, you don't need to know the amount of seconds on the dot. I mean, you can try to study as much as you can, but I don't even know every cooldown down to the second. And with ranks and factoring ability haste, it's a lot to crunch. But what's important to keep in mind is as long as you have an approximation to be able to educate your best possible amount of time to give yourself the best estimate to be able to act, that's what allows you to have that higher level stat checking. And it's very paramount in this matchup. Does this all make sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, good. So understanding this cooldown and recognizing when Darius has that on cooldown is another exploitable window of weakness. Okay, beautiful. All right, so we just got a few minutes here. I think we covered a lot of good concepts here.
Yeah.
So I get the kill. I take a few plates here, which is really good. Beautiful. It allows me to get ahead. We managed to get that last plate in there before we back. Being a little greedy here. We're going to go ahead and spin on this wave most likely, and then go ahead and crash it before Darius comes back. I leave immediately because he has the option to go ahead and flank me. So we choose a safe place to back. We're 11 minutes in. We haven't used those biscuits yet, but it's okay. They're going to come in handy later. We'll go ahead and assemble a little more Strike components. And then we probably go for a Zeal after, because it's a really great power spike item. Power spike component, I should say, after. Now, what do you think I might be going for next item in this game?
GA or Darius? Oh.
Okay, I think Guardian Angel is actually a really good choice. What type of champion is Darius?
A dueling one.
Yeah, he's like a juggernaut. But what's so special about his ultimate? You know, what happens when he kills somebody?
If you kill somebody, the ult cooldown lasts. It comes back up again.
Yes, it resets. Darius is a juggernaut, but he's also a reset champion. Guardian Angel has a special property to be able to counter reset champions. If you down a champion with Guardian Angel and the Guardian Angel effect takes place to revive them, they do not get a reset. They have to confirm you on death timer in order to get the reset. So when you're playing versus a reset champion or a reset heavy team comp, building Guardian Angel limits their options or forces them to do things in ways that they don't want to in order to get the job done. If Darius uses his ult to confirm your GA, he pays the price of not having the reset in fight because he doesn't get it.
Okay.
This is a very, very smart thing to do versus reset heavy team comps and champions, because you want to be able to force their resources and force them to make a painful choice of them saving your ultimate until you're actually dead, which requires more time to get you Guardian Angel to pop, or to burn it on your GA and then Darius doesn't get to ult anybody else on your team. It's very, very good. If you want to be a team shot caller too, go ahead and encourage your team to get GAs. You don't have to be the only person who builds this item. Be a team player, be a team captain, ask your team, hey guys, GA counters this team comp, just build it.
Yeah.
Because if you don't mention this, people are going to stop. People are going to just not even pay attention to it. People are not going to build it. People are going to follow their mobile builds and whatever build they have their heart set on. So unless you prompt them with this type of choice, odds are that it's just not going to happen, right? So just some food for thought there.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Cool. All right. Well, I think that brings us to time here, but I think we did a really good job covering the first 12 minutes of the game. Now, granted, I invite you and our audience, of course, here today, and anybody watching us on YouTube, to go ahead and watch the rest of the game here, which I will link. But yeah, this is a really, really great demonstration, and I hope you found a lot of value in how I broke this down, because there was definitely a lot of thought and a lot of discipline, a lot of patience put into every one of these moves.
Yeah.
And, you know, we had to wait 10 plus minutes to be able to get our first kill versus Darius. That's sometimes what it takes. But if you guys want to win this matchup more, you know, these are some things that you need to think about, because it's not as easy as just saying, hey, I'm Garen, let's just go and spin into them like the brain dead type of champion that people think we are, right? It's a little bit more thought into that, all right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and patch things up there. I will link you the rest of the replay so you can watch it at your own time. All right, and that brings us to a close there. Yep. Yeah, we actually got a lot covered in those 2 hours.
Thank you so much for staying up as well.
Yeah, no problem. I